Hi, and welcome to Country Bumpkin Creates. My name is Lucy. You can find me on Instagram as country_bumps or on Ravelry as country bumps. It's been a while. I do apologise. I meant to record before now, but some days your head's just not in the right place, so it's not good. So all is good at the moment, so I thought I'd take the time to record. And also, our internet is really bad here. I live on the outskirts of Dartmoor, for those of you who don't know. Hello to any new viewers, and welcome back, and thank you for returning to any returning viewers. I always forget that bit, I do apologise. Our internet is really bad, so when I do a podcast it takes me like 2 days to upload, which also puts me off recording, but thankfully, BT have installed a high-speed line into the park. I live on a holiday park, for those of you who don't know as well. They've installed a high-speed line, which is undergoing testing at the moment. So hopefully soon we will have extra fast internet, which will make recording and uploading a lot easier. So I'm hoping to become more frequent. Once that happens, once that's up and running. So where have I been? What have I been doing? Well, firstly, went to Unravel in Farnham back in February. Yeah, February. Had a wonderful time. It's a really lovely show, Unravel. If you can get there, then I'd highly recommend it. It's a very good show. So went to there on the Saturday, got the train up very early on Saturday morning, got into Farnham just before lunch, spent the day at the show and then got the train back, and arrived back home about 10:30 that night. So it was a long day, but it's well worth having a long day for. So some of the items that you'll see in the finished objects and works in progress sections of this podcast will be purchases I did make at Unravel. I haven't got a yarn porn section because, sorry, the iPad decided to stop recording after 2 minutes, which was useful. So like I said, I've made a lot of purchases between Unravel and EYF, so we'd probably be here just an hour going through everything that I bought. So sorry, the cat is taking an interest in what's going on. Right, she's gone now, sorry about that. Yeah, so there will be no wool piggery section, but I will sort of say, as I'm using things, I will say whether I got them at Unravel or EYF or something like that, because some of the EYF purchases have been started as well. Where else have I been? Oh yeah, went to Flock as well, which was organised by Mr. B's Yarns and Bird Street UK, who is his lovely wife Claire, and that was in Bristol back in end of January, I think we went there, and that was a really lovely, it was just like a large knit and natter afternoon. Lots of people came from everywhere. Lady had come from Norfolk, happened to be on holiday down this end of the world, so came along. So the next one of that will be on June the 1st, and if you want any more information, then I suggest you contact Mr. B's Yarns on Instagram, send them a direct message, and Claire will send you the info. But yeah, that was a lovely afternoon. And then the big one, Edinburgh Yarn Festival. Oh my goodness, I loved it, absolutely adored it, loved it, and I'm eagerly anticipating next year's dates coming out so we can get booked up ready for next year. Sadly, one of our group had to pull out. So there were only 3 of us that went. So there was myself, my friend, sorry I got itch, my friend Sarah and my friend Imogen. Hi ladies. And poor old Soph had to stay home, which was really just, yeah, it was a bit pants really, but we missed you, Soph. It wasn't the same without you. But it was just, we went to the show on the Thursday and the Saturday, and they were just the best days. I didn't meet one person who was horrible. Every single person you speak to, if you bump into them because it was pretty crowded, so if you bump into them as you're like jostling between yarn stalls, or you're queuing for something, or sitting in the knit and natter place, everybody that you spoke to was just lovely. And you know, I think that's the great thing about our community and our tribe, is we all love the same thing, and everybody is just nice people. Everybody that vendors, people who don't even know you, just sit and chat, and so I think that's what makes it special, is the people. Absolutely, the people. So yeah, like I said, we went to the festival on the Thursday. It was really busy Thursday, and so hot, really hot. Now I'm glad I didn't make a jumper especially for EYF, because it wouldn't have been on very long. Oh, sorry, now the other cat's coming in. Yeah, so beeline first of all was to go and see Mr. West. Stephen West was there on Thursday doing autographs and photos. I totally fangirled, and I just love him. I just absolutely love him. Such a nice, gentle chap. Absolutely. I'm going to start gushing now. I don't think there's not one word that can encapsulate Stephen. Eccentric, knows his own style, just lovely, absolutely lovely to everybody and anybody. And he spent quite we had I bought a book which he autographed for us, and we had our photo done with him, and he was like, we all wore a Stephen West piece that we'd knitted. On the Thursday we all had our exploration stations, and then we went and did it again, saw him again on Saturday, because we had different items of knitwear, one which I'll show you. I finished my Textures Unite, sorry. So I wore that on the Saturday, and had another photo done with him with that. He's just nice. He's just a lovely guy, and I adore him, and I want him to come and live with me, because I think he'd just make every day amazing. I think he just brings sunshine into every day. Sorry, the cat had a slug on him, which is very pleasant. Thanks. Come here. Come say hello. Say hello. Say hello. This is Billy Boo Bear. Oh, there you go, good boy. He's just brought a slug in on his tail, which I then proceeded to stroke, which was pleasant. Sorry about that. Anyway, so yes, so EYF, it was just, and then the day we didn't go to EYF, we were going to go sightseeing, but the weather was a bit pants. It started raining and stuff like that, so we just stayed in our PJs. We knitted. We did get dressed in the afternoon only because we had to go out and forage for some food at the supermarket, and then we came back, put our PJs back on and knitted some more. So it was lovely actually. We really got to chill on the Friday, which was needed after it was pretty full on the Thursday, and knowing it was going to be the same on the Saturday. The Saturday we were a bit more relaxed because there was a few vendors that we wanted to go and have another look at and stuff like that, but we spent quite a lot of time sort of sitting and knitting and chatting and meeting people, which was lovely. So hello to everybody that we saw and said hello to me, or to us. It was lovely to see you all, and I'll see you at the same time, same place next year. So yeah, it was a bit weird being away from home for 5 days. I've never been away from Nigel that long. I know I sound a bit like a sappy, but you know, I've been away like a couple of nights, but not 5 days. So it was good to get home as well. I'm a bit of a home bird, so I like going away, but then I equally enjoy coming home. So that was that really. But it was an amazing show. It was really good show. And if you can get there at some point, then I would highly recommend it, absolutely. Okay, so enough of me rambling. Let's get on with what we're all here for. So, because it's been a few months, I've got quite a few FOs. First of all is the mammoth huge slanket. It's all wrapped up in my microphone. That is Textures Unite by Stephen West. So I won't be able to get it all in one shot. So it starts this end. It is much larger than my wingspan and much deeper. So you've got all these different sections. So you start with this brioche section. So this winey colour is Madeline Tosh sock in the Dahlia colourway. Dahlia. See, I did it again. Sorry if you'd watched the last one. Dahlia, darling. Dahlia colourway. And then this on the back, this turquoise is amazing, and that is Atomic Flamingo by Beehive Yarns. Is she Beehive Yarns? Yeah, Beehive Yarns. So you do this massive, I did the large size as well. So you do this massive brioche section, and then you do these eyelets, and this again is Madeline Tosh, and this is in the Steam Age colourway. Then which section did you do then? I can't remember. Oh, this one, this slipstick section. So this purple is Confundus by Nor George Yarns, and the whitey colour was, I can't remember. Oh, bum. Sorry, I'm just wondering if I've got it written down anywhere. No. I can't remember what it was, sorry. It's all on my, if you go to my Ravelry page, all my yarns that I used are on there. So you do this slip stitch, and then you do these garter rows, which are done with, you can't really see the shine. This is Shiner by Amy Florence Stranded Dye Wax mixed with the Steam Age Madeline Tosh. This is the Shiner, you can see it better. So this is Shiner for a big cabled section, and then you finish off by doing garter rows, garter stripes. Oh, it's really annoying me, I can't remember what colourway was, I'm really sorry. And then you do an I-cord bind off all the way around in I did it in the Atomic Flamingo. So it is massive, it's like a proper slanket shawl. When I blocked it, it took like half my living room to block it. because that's the only place I can block is my living room floor, which with cats is a bit of a nightmare, but can't be helped. Oh, I should have done what I'm wearing really, shouldn't I? Should I stand up and give you a gratuitous boob shot? So this is The Sides and Stripes by Vera Valimaki. So the colourways are, this is Shiner by Stranded Dye Wax, and then the stripes are her Metalsome colourway. And then, so you can see it's called Sides and Stripes because you've got this reverse stockinette panel down each side, and then it's done, you've got garter cuffs to match your garter neckline. But when you increased, you did, I can't remember what increases you did, but mine never came, when I blocked it they didn't come out very well. So you can see all my increases, but I'll just call it a pattern choice. It was meant to be there. So yeah, and I love this jumper. I wear it quite a lot because it's great with jeans and things like that. Okay, next finished object was an FO, I think, in the last, it was a work in progress. Yes, it was. It's the Mad Hatter cowl. Which is, it was a pattern. I bought the yarn from Fig Tree Yarns at Yarnporium, and it's by Wonderland Yarns. It was a sport weight mini skein set. Wonderland Yarns in the Tea Time number 102 colourway. So it's a really squishy cowl that's a mixture of garter and stockinette, so it's really squishy and lovely. Sorry if I'm knocking the microphone, I do apologise. Yeah, in the 6 colours, and the pattern is on the Fig Tree Yarns blog. If you go to their website, it's on their blog. So that's the Wonderland Yarns cowl. Yeah, so that's going to get a lot of use when the winter comes back. It's a bit chilly today. Well, it is Saturday the 13th of April today, if anybody wants to know. Interesting. Right, I'm really bad at podcasting, aren't I? Oh, one day I'll be a professional. One day. Another next finished object. These are the French meringue socks. So you can see they've got this lovely little like cable detail down the front. And there are 2, just to prove there are 2. And I did a Fish Lips Kiss heel on these. I'm not sure how it's going to fit my foot at all. Well, if it'll fit well or not. But I just thought I'd give it a try. Normally I do a heel flap and gusset, which fits my foot really well. So I've got little wide troll feet. Yeah. So they're the French meringue socks. I started these when Bake Off was on the television back in August, and they just fell by the wayside, and then I decided they needed finishing. The pattern is by Marianne Heikkinen, I think that's how you pronounce it, and the yarn I used was Magical Weasley Garden by Nora George Yarns, which was one of her Mrs. Weasley's Club colourways. Yeah, so that's those. Right, what are we on to next? The Rubelite hat. I love this hat. You know when you see a pattern on Instagram and you're like, oh, I really love that. Well, this was one of those patterns. It's covered in cat hair. Hasn't been blocked yet either. All the ends are woven in. Because, you know, why be professional like that? So if I put it on. So it's a colourwork hat. It really needs blocking because I look like a gnome. like even more like the village idiot than the normal one I've got out of. So it's got these lovely flower motifs on it. I think they're flowers. They look like flowers to me. And this is from the Jules edition of the Making Stories book. And I actually bought the whole book just for that hat pattern. So the design is by Simone Bechtold. Bechtold. And I used exactly the same colours that they showed you. So exactly the same yarn and exactly the same colours, because I just fell in love with them. So that's the Jules Making Stories, and it's the Rubelite hat. So I'm hoping it's a bit tight because of the colour, it's a bit tight. But so the yarn was D Rerum Natura in the Ulysses base. I've got all the curtains shut and the lighting's still not brilliant. And this is Confiture de Rose, this colour, the pink, and then Fusion is the grey. And I loved it. I loved knitting it. I love it. So I'm gonna buy a nice big red or winey coloured pom pom when I see one, and stick that on there once it's blocked and had its ends woven in. Oh, I've forgotten an FO. Bear with me. Right, back. Sorry about that. So next FO is the Paris in Berlin cowl by Johi Locatelli. So this is a really interesting construction because you start flat. So you knit quite a lot of this flat and then you join it in the round. So it's really weird. This bit here with this like little texture panel on it is knit flat. Then you join in the round and then knit this section. So it's like a, like a small shawl, how you would wear a small shawl, but sorry if I'm knocking the microphone, but you haven't got the faff of trying to keep it on because it's a cowl that's joined in the round. It's really clever. I saw this on another podcast, on the Must Love Yarn podcast. I don't know if you're watching, the two ladies who own a yarn shop in America, and this is in, and so that one of them had made it, and the yarn I used was the Patronus colourway by Lay Family Yarn, and I also bought a skein of the yarn in DK, but obviously different yarns take the colour differently. So this is the Patronus colourway in their DK yarn. So I made a JoJo's hat to go with it. So I just need to find a pom-pom to go on there. So JoJo's hat by Jodie Brown, who is one half of the Grocery Girls, Mrs. Brown's Bags. So I love this pattern. Such a really intuitive, easy pattern to follow. So yeah, there's those two. So this was an EYF knitting project that I bought the yarn. It hasn't been blocked yet. So I bought the yarn for this at Unravel. And this yarn is Knit by Numbers by John Arbon. And they are numbers 93, 66 and 55. I can't remember which colour is which off the top of my head. I do apologise. and I couldn't be asked to go and find out what I'd done with all the rest of the yarn that I'd put away somewhere. So this is the Boreal Forest Cowl. This was part of the knit Helen Stewart's Curious Handmade knit event in 2016. So it's got these lovely trees in all the different colours. So like I say, it hasn't been blocked yet, but so that's going to sit really nicely under a coat. So really enjoyed knitting that. Knit up really quickly, really enjoyed it, loved it. Matching hat pattern. Okay, right, so you know when you're knitting something, I haven't even got the hat with me. Pause. 2 secs. Sorry, really lots of stops and starts in this one this week. You know when you're knitting something and you're thinking, this really isn't right, this really isn't right. Well, she brought out a hat pattern to match the cowl. Either the pattern is really wrong or her head is teeny tiny weeny, because look, I can't even get it on my head. So I followed the pattern exactly. No, it would never fit an adult, never. So I was knitting it, I'm thinking, nah, never right. This is a good lesson in looking at other people's projects on Ravelry, because after I finished it, and I should have gone with my gut and stopped halfway, really, rather than finishing it. So that's why I'm weaving in the ends, because I'm just going to unravel it. But I wanted to show it on the podcast first because I just thought it was hilarious. If I'd been savvy and read other people's projects on Ravelry first. Sorry, I've gone a bit doolally now. That's better. So if I'd read other people's projects on Ravelry, I would have known that 99% of the people on there have said it's tiny, it comes out really small. You need to increase either the number of these repeats or make these, you know, add in another 2 twigs, 2 branches worth as it was, just to give it a little bit more depth, because it's ridiculous. So I wish it's taught me a good lesson actually, to when starting a pattern, to go and look at what other people have said about the pattern before attempting it. So I'm going to rip it back. I don't know whether I think the width of it, I don't know whether I need to increase around the width as well, and probably will. I'll probably see what the pattern repeat number of stitches are. I think it was 8, and add in probably 16 more stitches, so I've got 2. So I do 2 extra rounds, 2 extra repeats of the pattern each round, and then do probably 1, 2, 3 or 4 trees. I'll follow the cowl pattern and do 4 trees before. I like the decrease. The decrease was really clever. So I'm sure I can work the decrease with because it will just be the 2 extra repeats. That's all for the decrease. So look at other people's project notes on Ravelry, because it will save you a lot of grief. Or when you're knitting something, listen. If your gut says this isn't right, stop and reassess and have a look at what other people have written. There we go. There we go. C'est la vie. We live and learn. Another pair of socks finished for me. These are the Conchetta socks by Rachel Coopy, who's Coop Knits. This was part of our Neons and Neutrals club last year. This is the colourway Quartz. This is Chryso, I think that's how you pronounce it. And this is Radon. So they've come out really lovely. Really enjoyed knitting them. These are one of my Make 9 for this year. So that's another one of the list that I wanted to make. I think I've finished 3 of my Make 9 now. Yeah, because I wanted to do the Rubelite hat, so that's done. These socks and my Textures Unite. So it's 3 of my Make 9 so far, which isn't bad, seeing as we're a third of the way through the year. So I'm on schedule. Don't think I've got anything else. I'm gonna need yeah, my Mould Mania cardigan, I think, is on my Make 9. I can't remember. So another pair of socks. These aren't for me, these are for my sister for Easter. So if you're a long time viewer, you'll know that I made my sister a box of socks for Christmas last year. Well, these were going to go in a box of socks, but I never got, I just ran out of time. I didn't get around to doing them. So as she is currently losing weight, and she's done really well with losing weight, I thought I'd knit these for her for Easter. So these are the watermelon striped socks. I did them as afterthought everything. So I started with a cuff, because I only had 50 grams of the main colour and 20 grams of the contrast. So started with a cuff. I knit the whole of this as one long tube, the whole of the watermelon. So I used every single bit of the watermelon yarn. I then put a toe on the other end, so I had one massive long sock in effect. I then picked up stitches along here and along the top of here, left a row in between, like you were going to do a afterthought heel. So pulled that apart. So then I had 2 socks, one with a cuff and nothing on the bottom, and one with a toe and nothing at the top. So then knit a cuff and a toe, and then put in some afterthought heels. So they've come out really well. I really like them. She'll love them, because I did myself a pair of these, and then managed to get another skein on a D-stash. The yarn is Watermelon Stripes by Hand Dyed by Kate, who is no longer dyeing, so sadly you won't be able to get any of this yarn. I'm not sure if there's other people that do similar watermelon-y type yarn. I'm sure there is. So yeah, they've come out really well, so I'll gift them to her tomorrow so she can wear them for Easter next week. And lastly, I've been doing a test knit for Tracy, who is the dyer behind Nora George Yarns. She produced a cowl pattern. This has literally come off my needles about an hour ago, so it's not been blocked or ends woven in or anything, so it doesn't look very much at the moment. But it's a cowl that uses mosaic knitting, so it's not stranded colour work, it's mosaic colour work. So you're just slipping stitches, then you've got some lace, and then some more mosaic colour work, then some more lace, and some more, and then basically from here it mirrors itself. So you go back to do some more mosaic, some lace, and then this little pretty woven stitch, and then so yeah, that's really pretty. So the yarns I used were my main colour is It's a Jolly Holiday with Mary, which is a Mary Poppins reference, by Nora George Yarns, and the blue, the turquoise, and I think this mustardy yellow came with the socks as a sock set, with the No, it didn't. No, it didn't. I don't know where. And these. No, it's the other one that I'm using. That's a sock set, which is a whip. I'll show you in a minute. So these two are just 20 gram minis that I had floating around that I thought were a nice contrast to the main colour. So yeah, literally, like I say, hot off the needles. So I don't know when Tracy's going to be releasing it, but if you keep an eye on her Instagram, which is Nora George Yarns, I'm sure she'll give you all the information on there when it's released onto Ravelry for you all to purchase. But it was a really lovely knit, and again, it's going to be nice and squishy for the winter. Well, there we are. That was all RFOs. A majority of January was getting Textures Unite finished. I wanted to get that finished before, definitely before EYF. I think actually I didn't finish it until February because I was going to wear it to unravel, but I hadn't had a chance to block it. So now we will go on to works in progress. There aren't as many as you would have thought. So the first one, this is in my knitter bag, which is got this really cool like oil slick metallic wording on it from Stitches Teeth. So in my last podcast I had the Yarnivore t-shirt, which the Americans, I wore it to EYF, and some of the Americans were like all over that. All over it. So this is a mystery knit along. So if you are doing it and you haven't got that far yet, it's the mystery knit along that's being hosted by the Periscoping sisters, Amy Meeks and Debbie Reese, who are Periscoping sisters. So if you are doing it and haven't got very far yet, I am showing all of Clue 1 finished and Clue 2 started. So if you don't want to see it, or if you're waiting until all the clues come out and you don't want to see it, then I would skip ahead this bit. Skip ahead a couple of minutes. So this is like I say, a mystery knit along. So it's going to be done in 3 clues. And the brief was you used one main colour full skein and then 3 20 gram mini skeins. So Clue 1 came out on the 1st of April. Actually, it came out the night before because Amy can't help herself and gets all excited, so sends that out early. So you start with a provisional cast on. It's the first time I've done a provisional cast on, and I'm surprised at how easy it was. And then, so you did like a mix of lace and stockinette stripes, garter and stockinette stripes. This was the first clue, and then the first clue ended here. Yeah, you just started striping in your second mini. So then the second clue only came out a couple of days ago, and I've been finishing that test knit. So I haven't got very far yet at all. So you're introducing more of your second mini and fading out that first mini, and it's going to be, I'm assuming it's a cowl because of the way it's provisionally cast on rather than a shawl. So yeah, just started another lace section that's going to be intermingled with more stockinette stripes of this second mini. So the yarn I am using literally came a couple of days before. Did it come? No, it didn't come a couple of days. Yes, it did, I think. But you know when a pattern lands and you've had yarn recently. Yeah, this was literally a few days. It did come a few days before. So you've had yarn that's just arrived, and then the pattern comes out, and you're like, that's it. they're made for each other. So this is a Nora Georgians. It's a Mrs. Weasley's club, and it's called Godric's Hollow. So this is the main colour, and it came with 2 minis, which was ideal because I needed 3 for this cowl. So it came with the pink, and the green. So that was the sock set with the 2 minis, and it was just perfect. And then going through my stash, I found this little purple fella. It's quite a dark purple. It's a bit darker than the Shiner colourway. So I found this purple one as well, and I thought, oh, it went perfect. Perfect it went. I've dropped the tag, I'll pick it up after. So I'm looking forward to seeing where Clue 2 goes. So I haven't read through all of Clue 2 yet. Probably should have, but so we're going to be cracking on with that tonight now that the test cowl is finished. So I'm hoping that I can get that second clue knocked off by the end of the weekend. Second one is yet another cowl. I seem to be on a bit of a cowl kick at the moment. So when we were in EYF, I bought Stephen West's new book, Hybrid Knitting, which he autographed for me. And in here, I absolutely fell in love with the hybrid. It's called the Hybrid Knitting Cowl. So there's Stephen's version. It's a really lovely collection. The collection is on Ravelry. So there's another. He does it in 2 colours there. So it's a 2-colour version. So the version I'm doing is 2 main colours and then 6 minis. I've also got this bag from his. So these bags are made specifically for Stephen and Penelope from Oh Wow Amsterdam. So it's just got like this. It's really like nice canvas bag. So I am doing. This is my. So I've started it. I haven't got very far because I got waylaid with the test knit cowl, and then the mystery knit started. So I've nearly completed the number of pattern repeats. So you start with this lovely textured section. So actually it starts there. So beginning of the section texture starts here, and then you've got like this stripe, like chevron, and then you've got these like reverse stockinette triangles as well, and you use like 600 stitch markers to differentiate the pattern repeats. So I've got about another 10 rows to go before I start the colour work section. So the yarn I'm using is John Arbon Knit by Numbers. So that one is, so you use 2 grey, a light and a dark grey. I don't know where the tag is. Sorry, I'm just scrabbling around to get the tag. I got these wound by the people at EYF, and the winder went a bit doolally. So this is Knit by Numbers number 06. This is 4-ply. The other cowl that I did in the Knit by Numbers was in their DK, but this is their 4-ply. So soft. And this is 100% pure Falkland merino wool, and you get 400 meters per skein. So this is the light grey, and then the other colour, the other main colour will be the dark grey. So you can see that. And that is Knit by Number 04. So you can see that how the ball winder went a bit doolally. And then the minis I chose, again, these are all Knit by Numbers John Arbor Knit by Numbers. So I have like a burnt orange. I'm not sure how well these colours are going to come out. That's a burnt orange, and that's number 13. This is like a like a golden yellow, and that's number 49. This beautiful purple, like a real dual colour purple, and that's 25. This is like a royal navy blue, and that's number 80. Ooh. Then this is like a minty green colour, minty teal, and that's 96. And then the pink I got was number 64. So, sorry, I dropped one on the floor. I wanted to pick it up before a cat walked off with it or something. So that's my 6 colours for the colour work. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into that. Once clue 2, I'm going to crack on with clue 2 of the mystery knit, then get back on track with that. And then I started a sweater. I started the Weekender by Andrea Mowry. I'm using a commercial yarn for this that I managed to get in a sale. So this is Rowan Pure Wool Superwash Worsted, and it's in shade 191. It's like a rosy dusky pink colour, mauvey. So I haven't got very far because again I just pick it up as and when I need some mindless knitting, but everything else has really taken precedence over what I've fancied doing. So you've got a split hem, so you've got a high-low hem, so, and then when you wear it, you wear the reverse side, and then it's got this like faux seam detail running down the middle of the front and the back. So, but very cleverly you knit it the right way out, so you're not, haven't got all that purling. The only purl you do is that centre seam purl. So yeah, it's all knit as if you're doing like a normal stockinette in the round. So you can see I haven't got very far yet. I've only got a few inches. I'm knitting these on Knit Pro Zings. I've really got back into using my Zings now on a 6mm. I haven't done a gauge swatch because I think they lie. No matter whether I do them in the round or what, they never come out the same as a garment. When I've finished and blocked a garment, I'll never get the same gauge as what I did with a gauge swatch. I know that I knit tight, and I always have to, whenever I have gauge swatched, I've gone up half a needle size, and I think I like something more. I don't like fitted sweaters as such, so I think I've picked a size that's got a little bit of ease, but not a massive amount of ease. Should my gauge be really off and really massive. So yeah, so that's like a, as I said, like a as and when project really. And Stash Dash, which is hosted by Leslie and Laura, who are the Knit Girls, who have a podcast as well. That starts in May, so I'm gonna hang off, and like if I don't think I'll get that far with it anyway before then, so I'll wait and finish it for Stash Dash because it'll be a good yardage. So the next one is this beast, Next Whip, which you've seen, but I have done a bit more. I was aiming to get it done by EYF, but it was never going to happen, so never gonna happen. I'm just wrestling because it's got yarn still attached to it. So this is my Mild Mania cardigan. Which way is the right way? Which side is the right side? That side. Right. So it has grown quite a bit since you last saw it. So this is the collar, and then I'm doing the bodies all in blues held with like a grey colour. So I'm not doing a true marl. I've got one colour that's going through that throughout the whole of the jacket, and then adding in these blues. So probably easier to show you on the back, and then you can see all the different. So I'm now starting, so I've done all of my colours down to this dark blue, so now I'm starting to go back to the original colours and go back through them. So quite a few at EYF that I really liked. So again, I was like 2 weeks or a week before EYF, I was like, we're going to get it finished, and then it was like, no, admit defeat, I'm not going to get it finished. I may have got it finished with no sleeves, but that's, you know, not what it was intended for. So it is a bit of a beast. It's really heavy when I'm working on it. So again, I'm going to hopefully get this finished during Stash Dash, because there'll be some amount of meterage. Is that a word? Meterage? It is now. So there'll be a fair few amount of meters once it's knitted, because the collar's two skeins, I think, 2 complete skeins of yarn. So and I've used a whole skein of the grey so far, so that's 3 skeins plus all the ones that I've done for the marling. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, I've used 4 full skeins so far. I'm just keeping all my how many grams I'm using of each. Yeah. So it's a beast. So hopefully I'll have that to wear for EYF next year, because I'm definitely going next year. And excuse me, we're going to take husbands with us next year, because it feels a bit unfair going away all that way and leaving them behind. So yeah, so that's it for whips. There are other things I want to get cast on. I bought a mitten kit from Isolde Teague at EYF that I want to do, and there's other bits. I need to redo that boreal hat, and I want to get my Zweig on the needles. Zweig. So this is the yarn I'm going to be using, that I've had since I went to Nottingham Yarn Expo. So these are the colours I'm going to be using. So my main body colour will be this, which is raspberry from Nora George Yarns, and my contrast will be her November colourway. So those two together will make my Zweig. So I want to, every time I go onto Ravelry, it's like, and there's loads on Instagram at the moment, and there were quite a few, saw quite a lot at EYF, and I was like, I really want to do it. So, but I don't want to cast on another one cast on another sweater until my Weekender is almost done, and my Mould Mania. I keep my Mould Mania next to my desk while I'm working, so if I get bored with whatever socks I'm working on, I then pick up that and do a few rows, and that's what I need to do. I think I need to do a few rows a day. You know, that'll soon add up then, won't it? Hopefully. That's it, I think. I can't think of anything else. I've got a week off on holiday now, so I do have some sewing plans, which I'll talk about. I might do a separate podcast for sewing, because I've got a couple of things that I have sewn already, and if I get quite a bit done this week, I might do a separate sewing one for those who aren't interested in sewing, just here for the knitting. For those who aren't interested in the knitting but are interested in the sewing, you may be interested in both. Who knows? Hopefully you will be. So I'm going to hopefully get quite a bit of sewing done this week. But it's Saturday already, and so far I've finished work on Wednesday, went to Dad on Thursday morning, came home Thursday afternoon full of vigour to do it, and sorted out what I was going to make with what material. That was a big thing, and then traced a pattern, and that's as far as I've got. So I think whilst this is doing its stuff, I might get the fabric cut out, and then tomorrow, oh no, because it's, yeah, or Monday probably, I think we've got stuff planned for tomorrow. After I've been to Dad in the morning, we've got stuff planned for the afternoon, so be no sewing tomorrow. So hopefully Monday I can get cracking on the sewing machine. I'm just rambling now, so I think it's time to go. So it was lovely to be back with you. Like I say, hopefully now, once we're in decent internet, I can start doing more regular podcasts. I want to try and at least do one a month, if not one every 3 weeks, depending on content. I don't want to keep going over the same content all the time, that's the problem. But we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, if I can alternate with like a sewing and then knitting, perhaps that might be better. Won't be quite so boring as showing the same old stuff every couple of weeks. But we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, like I say, it was lovely to be back with you all. Happy knitting. Happy Easter, more to the point, if you celebrate Easter. If you don't, happy chocolate eating time, if you still partake in that part of it. I do the chocolate eating because I'm naughty. Anyway, I'm rambling, so I'm going. See you soon. Bye.